Good evening, all of you. In the last session, we discussed about AWS services that we are going to learn. And in that, the very first service and very famous demanding service in the AWS, that is EC2. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. EC2 is a regional service. So we have to select our region in order to use that EC2. And using this EC2 service, we can create virtual machines. We can create the instances. We can call it as instance. One instance, nothing but one machine. Okay. Now, guys, here, when we are going to create the instances in the EC2, AWS providing AMI, that is Amazon Machine Image. AWS providing Amazon Machine Image. That is nothing but you no need to set up everything on your own. They're providing pre-configured. They're providing pre-configured machines. They're called as AMIs. They're called as AMIs. You can use the machines, the machine images. You can use the machine images according to your requirement, and you can customize those machines. Whatever the servers you want to install, what are the softwares you want to install, that you can customize by using that. Okay. So earlier we have used the EC2 instance and we created one machine called Ubuntu. By using Ubuntu AMI, we have created that machine. Now, guys, today, all of you do one thing. Whenever we are creating the EC2 instance earlier, we created several key pairs and we created several security groups. Now, I'm going to terminate all my instances. I want to start it from the first instance, terminate. I have terminated that instance. Second instance, AWS workshop instance is there. Instance state terminate. So I have two instances in my EC2 dashboard. I'm terminating those instances. Terminating the instances means I am removing those instances. I have used it for some time. Now I am removing those instances. All right, guys, you also remove all your instances. Yeah, guys, now all my instances I have terminated. All the instances I have terminated in my machine. Okay, good. Next one, go to key pairs, guys. We have created several key pairs also. What is a key pair? That already we know. Key pairs we have created. What is the purpose of that key pair? What is the purpose of the key pair? Which is used to connect to our machines securely. Now, I have three key pairs: JRTP19 Linux VM key pair, AWS workshop key pair. Three key pairs are available. I'm going to delete all those key pairs. Now, type delete in the field in order to delete that key pair. Click on delete. That key pair got deleted successfully. And go to security groups. We have created several security groups here. There are some default security groups are available. Don't delete them, and delete the security group that we created. My security group I have created. Select it, action, delete it. Delete that security group. Now, can you see? Is there any other security group available which we have not created? Is there any other security group available which we have not created? No, there is no security group available which we have not created. I have deleted the security groups I have created. I have deleted the key pairs which I have created. So now My EC2 dashboard is completely empty. My EC2 dashboard is completely empty. I don't have any instances also. These instances I have already terminated. After some time, these instances will be removed from my dashboard. These instances will be removed from my dashboard. Okay. Can we launch one new instance with a different OS now? Can we launch one new instance with a different OS now? Yes or no? Can we launch one new instance with a different OS now? Yeah. Go to launch instance. Launch instance. The first thing that you need to understand, guys, choose an Amazon machine image that is called AMI. Choose Amazon machine image. Could you please read it? What they are talking about AMI? An AMI is a template that contains the software configuration like operating system, application server, and applications required to launch your instance. You can select an AMI provided by AWS, our user community, or the AWS marketplace, or you can select one of your own AMIs. My AMIs. Did we create any AMI as of now? We have not created any AMI. AMI marketplace is AWS marketplace is available. That means they have some AMIs which are having some softwares already installed. They have some AMIs which are having some softwares already installed. Okay, so which operating systems you want, what softwares that you want, what softwares you want in that, those AMIs are already available. Quick start. My AMIs, we don't have any AMIs created. AWS marketplace, there are several AMIs are available. Community AMIs are available. Some people are helping the AWS to develop this AMIs, and community AMIs are available. Windows Server English full SQL standard, Windows Server English full base, Debian, Windows Server, Debian, Ubuntu, Amazon, Deep Learning AMI, Deep Learning based AMI, RHEL, Amazon Linux. There are so many community based AMIs also available here, guys. So the very first thing is we need to choose the AMI. Now you understand what is AMI? AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. Now we are going for EC2 today. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Using this EC2, we can create virtual machines. Using EC2 service, we can create virtual machines. Virtual machines. Virtual machine is called as instance. In EC2 terminology, VM is called as instance. VM is called as instance. Now, AWS providing several AMIs. AWS providing several AMIs. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. What is AMI? AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. Pre-configured systems. Pre-configured systems. Okay. Right. Now, guys, I'm going to select one instance. I'm going to select one AMI, which is Amazon Linux 2. Earlier we have used Ubuntu flavor. Now I am using Amazon Linux. Click on select. Once you have selected that AMI, then it is asking what type of instance you want. Amazon EC2 provides wide selection of instance types optimized to fit different use cases. Based on the requirement, we need to choose one of the instance type. Instances are virtual servers that can run our application. Instance nothing but one virtual server that can run our application. They have varying combinations of CPU, memory, storage, and network capacity, and give you flexibility to choose the appropriate mix of resources for your application. Learn more about instance types and how they can meet your computing needs. How they can meet our computing needs. They are giving types of the instances also. Okay. They're giving the instances types also. Based on the requirement, you can go for these instances. Memory optimized, accelerating computed, storage optimized, instance futures, measuring instance performance, general purpose. Like that, there are several instances types are available. So based on your requirement, you can choose one instance and you can use it. Okay, we are using what type of instance now? We are using T2. Amazon EC2 T2 instances are performance instances that provide baseline level of CPU performance with the ability to burst the baseline. High frequency Intel based T2 nano, T2 micro, low to moderate, network performance low to moderate, EBS only, T2 nano, T2 micro, T2 small, T2 medium, T2 large, T2 X large, T2 2X large, like that. These CPUs are available. Currently, we are using which instance type? We are using micro, which is free tier, we can use it. Good. Go to T2.micro, T2 nano, T2 micro, T2 small, T2 medium, T2 large, X large, 2X large, T3 also available. But all are not free. Only this T2 micro is free. Could you please read the definition? T2 instances provide a baseline level of CPU performance with the ability to burst above the baseline. The baseline and ability to burst are governed by CPU credits. The T2 micro receives CPU credits continuously at a rate of 6 CPU credits per hour. Right? T2 micro are free tier. EBS is available for this. Next, configure instance details. Configure instance details. How many instances you want? How many instances you want? How many instances you want? Do you want 10 instances? Do you want 20 instances? Or do you want one instance for your application? That number of instances also we can choose here. I mean, how many virtual machines you want, that you can choose here. Currently, I want to go with one instance. Number of instances I'm taking. Network. What is the default network? AWS providing one default network for us, and subnets also it is providing. We'll talk about what is VPC and what is a subnet. We'll talk about what is VPC and what is subnet as part of VPC concept. Virtual private computing cloud, virtual private cloud will be available. VPC, that we will discuss. Right, public IPs, host names, DNS host names. I'm not changing anything, guys. I'm just selecting instance as one. Then after IAM rules, we have to discuss about the IAM, domain join directory, placement group, capacity reservation. I'm not changing anything. I'm just going with default. Now here there is a text box called user data. That means whenever your instance is getting started, if you want to execute any command in the Linux, this EC2 is a Linux machine, right? Linux machine I'm taking. Whenever that machine is started, whenever you start that EC2, if you want to execute any script, then you can keep that script in the user data. User data means when the machine is launched, that script will be executed. For example, I want to install Apache in that machine. Yum install Apache 2. Like this, I will write this script. Then what will happen? Do I need to install it every time? Or whenever this instance is started, it is going to install the Apache 2. That is pre-script. If you want any script to execute whenever instance is started, then you can write that script as user data. I will show you for the second instance. Okay. Next one. Guys, see the steps here. First one is choose the AMI. I have selected the AMI as Amazon Linux 2 AMI. Second step is choosing the instance type. We are choosing the T2.micro. Configure instance details. I'm taking the instance as one. And user data, I'm not giving anything by default. It's optional. If you really want to execute some script when this instance is started, you can pass that. Next, add storage. What is the default size it is giving for us? What is the default volume it is providing? 8 GB. Add the new volume, that is EBS, elastic block storage. Do you want to add the additional space for your instance? That you can do by using EBS, elastic block storage. Free tier eligible customers can get up to 30 GB of EBS, general purpose SSD or magnetic storage. About free tier usage eligibility, use the restrictions, you can go with that. You can add 30 GB additional space also as a free tier account by using EBS, that is a elastic block store. If you want additional space, they are giving by default 8 GB. If 8 GB is not sufficient for you, then you need to go for elastic block storage to increase capacity or to add more capacity for that. Right, 30 GB is free. Currently, I don't need that. If you really need it, then you can add that by using EBS, adding the new volume. Adding the new volume. Okay, next click on add tags. Add tags is just a key value pair. Add tag is just like a key value pair. Add tag, key and value. Key and value. Name I'm giving as my Linux VM. That is the tag name I'm giving. That is the tag name I'm giving. Right. If you want to add another tag, you can add it. Key value pair. Next one, I will write as DevOps, AWS DevOps VM. AWS DevOps VM is the name I'm giving as the key, I'm giving as a name, value I'm giving as AWS DevOps VM. Next one, configure security group. This is very important, guys. Configuring the security group is very important. A security group is a set of firewall rules that control the traffic for your instance. On this page, you can add the rules to allow that specific traffic to reach your instance. For example, if you want to set up a web server and allow internet traffic to reach your instance, add the rules that unrestricted access to HTTP and HTTPS ports. You can create a new security group or select from existing one below. That means we are creating one EC2 instance here. We are creating one EC2 instance here. In that EC2 instance, we are installing one web server. Web server means it will handle HTTP request. Web server means it will handle HTTP request. Now we need to allow HTTP and HTTPS requests to access our web server. By default, EC2 will not allow anybody to access our server. By default, it will not allow anybody to access our server. If you really want the people to access your web server, then you need to enable HTTP protocol. You need to enable HTTP protocol on your EC2 instance. Then only users can send a request to this web server. That means you need to configure a security group to allow the traffic. Okay. And you can say that you can configure some security rules to send the request from your EC2 to other servers, from EC2 to outside. So this is inbound request and this is outbound. Inbound and outbound request. What are the incoming requests you want to allow and what are the outbound requests you want to allow? That means who can access your EC2, you configure that in the inbound. What your EC2 can access from outside, that you configure as an outbound rule. Inbound rule and outbound rule we need to configure in our security group. By default, EC2 is secured. People cannot access your EC2 instances directly. There is a key value pair concept available. And in the EC2, if you install some servers, that those servers also people cannot access directly unless you open the door for them. Now, I have taken EC2 instance. In the EC2 instance, I have installed one web server. I have taken one EC2 instance. In the EC2 instance, I'm in the EC2 machine, I'm installing one web server. Everybody can access my web server or everybody cannot access my web server? Nobody can access my web server unless I open the gate for them. That's where we are going to configure some inbound rules and outbound rules. Okay. This EC2 instance is available. I want to connect to this EC2 from PuTTY. If you want to connect to this EC2 is a Linux machine. So Linux machines will have a port number called SSH. Linux machines will have a port called SSH port. SSH port is 22, port range is 22. If you want to allow HTTP request also, then you add the HTTP port number will be 80. HTTP port number will be 80. If you want to allow some other protocols, if you want to allow some other port numbers also, or some other IP addresses also, that you need to configure here. If you want to allow someone else to access, then you need to configure their IP also, who can access your EC2 instance, that you can configure as a rule. So what is the default port I'm opening for my EC2? I'm opening SSH port by default. That means SSH protocol. By using SSH protocol, people can connect to this EC2. Putty will use the SSH protocol to connect to our Linux. If anybody want to connect to our EC2 with the HTTP request, they cannot connect now because my EC2 is not opening the HTTP port. If you want to access this EC2 by sending a HTTP request, you need to enable that HTTP protocol for our machine. Okay, I'm not doing that. If it is a Windows, then you need to open RDP. If it is a Windows, then you need to go for RDP port. RDP port is what? 3389. RDP port is 3389. SSH port is 22. SSH port is 22. RDP port is 3389. HTTP is 80. HTTP is the 80. Okay, fine guys. I'm going to set up the port number. I'm going to open currently only that SSH port, not anything else. Currently, I'm setting up this SSH port. I'm opening SSH port for my instance. HTTP is 80. HTTPS protocol. If you want to allow HTTPS protocol, that is 443. If anybody want to access your application by sending a HTTPS request, then we need to open the port 443. Okay, SSH 22 and HTTP 80, HTTPS 443. HTTPS is a secured protocol. HTTPS is secured protocol. Now you see, Ashok ID website you are accessing with the HTTPS. That means whatever the data that you are sending to Ashok ID website, the data is secured. The data is secured. That is HTTPS protocol. Okay. If you are launching a Windows machine, then you will go for RDP protocol. If you are launching a Linux machine, then you will go for SSH protocol. If you want to allow HTTP request, then you need to enable that port 80. If you want to allow HTTPS request, then you need to enable that 443 port. If this SSH port is available, then only people can connect to that EC2 with the putty. Now you see here, rules with the source allow all IP addresses to access your instance. We recommend setting security group rules to allow access from known IP addresses only. From which IP you want to allow the people to access your EC2? Currently, am I giving any range? Currently, am I giving any range, or I'm giving custom IP? Am I giving any range, or am I giving custom IP? I'm not giving anything. By default, anyone can access. By default, anyone can access. Okay. Configure security groups anywhere. Anyone with the SSH protocol can access. Okay. Are you clear with AMI, instance type, configure instance, add storage, add tags, configure security group? Okay. Then review and launch. The last step is the review. Now, let me tell you, launching EC2 instance. Launching EC2 instance. So what is the first step to launch EC2 instance? Choose AMI, free tier eligible. Free tier eligible. After choosing the AMI, what is the second step? Choose instance type. Choose instance type. I'm using T2.micro. I'm using T2.micro. Then third step, configure instance. Configure instance. Default to 1. How many instances you want? You can configure that by default 1. Add storage. Add storage. Default 8. We can add extra using EBS. We can add extra storage using EBS. Extra storage using EBS. Add tags. Add tags. It is optional. Add tags. It is optional. Okay. Now, after tags are added, configure security group. Configure security group. Now, if you want to open SSH protocol is 22 port. SSH protocol 22 port. RDP protocol 3389 port. HTTP protocol 80 port. HTTP protocol 80 port. HTTPS protocol 443. HTTPS protocol 443. Launching EC2, choose the AMI, choose the instance type, and configure the instance. Add storage by default 8. If you want extra, you can add it by using EBS. We can add extra storage using EBS up to 30 GB. Up to 30 GB. By default, it is giving 8 GB. Add tags, key value, security group. Security groups to allow the traffic to access our EC2. If you want to allow SSH request, then open SSH port with 22. If you want to allow RDP request, then go for 338 port. If you want to allow HTTP request, go for 80. If you want to allow HTTPS request, then go for 443. Then go for 443. That is what we are going to select. Review instance details. Review instance details before going to launch it. Click on review. Whatever you have selected, you can just review. Whatever you have selected, you can just review. Now click on launch. Here, key pair. We already discussed that EC2 VMs are getting launched with a key pair concept. What is this key pair contains? Public key available and private key available. Public key available and private key available. A key pair consists of public key that AWS stores and a private key that you store. Together, they allow you to connect to your instances securely. Now, choose a key pair. Do I have any key pair? Do I have any key pair? I have downloaded my key pair. I have deleted my key pair. Do I have a key pair? I have removed my key pair. I have deleted. Then what it is telling? Create new key pair, RSA key pair name, my AWS key pair. My AWS key pair. Download it. That file got downloaded. In which format that file got downloaded, guys? In which format that file got downloaded? PEM file. Can I connect to that EC2 by using that PEM file directly? I cannot. You save that key pair. Click on launch instance. Finally, our instance got launched. Your instances are now launching. Meanwhile, let me go to our key pair folder. Let me delete these key pairs. I have deleted the key pair because now I have downloaded a new key pair. That is a PEM file. Take this, keep this in the key pair folder. Perfect. I have a key pair now. Can I convert this PEM file to PPK file? Can I convert this PEM file to PPK file? Yeah. How can I convert the PEM file to PPK file? By using putty. By using putty gen. What is that, guys? By using putty gen. Generate. Sorry, first I have to load it. No? First I have to load my PEM file. Then I'm going to generate the private key and I will store that private key. First I'm going to generate. Then I'm going to convert. First I'm going to load this. Then I'm going to convert it. Okay. Cancel this. Putty gen. Open that putty gen once again. Open this, configure putty gen, file, load private key, go to our DevOps folder, key pair, select all the files here. My key pair is there. Open this, successfully imported that key pair, save that private key, save that private key. So I'm going to save it with the same name, my AWS key pair. My AWS key pair, it will be saved with the PPK file. Now you see that is saved with the PPK file. Saved with the PPK file. Got it? Saved with the PPK file. All right. Now go to AWS. Meanwhile, can you see my instance is running? Can you see my instance is running? Is there any name for the instance? Is there any name for the instance? Currently, instances running. Can you see instances state, running state? My instance doesn't have any name. Let's edit this, add the name. AWS DevOps VM. AWS DevOps VM. I have added one name for that. I have added one name for that. Okay. Action. You can connect to that VM. You can check the instance status, stop and terminate, reboot. Settings, add edit tags, attach auto scaling group, replace IAM role, termination production, get system log, get instance screenshot, image. Now you can create your own image. You can create your own image. That means currently we have launched this instance. I will install some softwares. Tomorrow, if somebody wants the same kind of machine with the same softwares, then they can use our image. We can create our own images also. All right. Image, networking. You change the security group. What is the security group is available? The default security group is available for our instance. I have not added any custom security group. CloudWatch. If you want to monitor this instance, how many hours it is running, then you can go for CloudWatch monitoring, enable detailed monitoring, add the alarms for this instance. Those things we are going to understand how to add the alarm and how to monitor this instance also. Now, whenever you unselect it, nothing is displaying below. But when you select it, it is displaying instance ID. This is the instance ID. This is instance state, private IP, private DNS, public IP, public DNS, it is available. So this is the IP address of our instance. Now you know IP address, you have the key pair. Can we connect to this instance now? Guys, tell me, can we connect to this instance now by using putty? Putty use SSH protocol. Our instance is allowing SSH protocol, or instance will not allow SSH protocol. Instance will allow SSH protocol, or instance will not allow SSH protocol. It will allow because we have added a security group for that. We have added a security group to allow. Okay. Go to putty. Now you add this IP address. Go to SSH auth, browse AWS Linux, AWS DevOps key pair. Go to our DevOps folder. Key pair. My AWS key pair is there. Appearance. Change this appearance. Okay. Session. Guys, you can save this with some name also. You no need to enter these things every time. AWS DevOps VM. You save it. I have saved it. Every time when I want to connect to this, I can just use this. You enter your IP address, you upload your key pair, and you click on save. Okay. Now let me open. Click on open. Accept. Now I want to log in. Can you tell me what is my username? Can you tell me what is my username? Not Ubuntu, not Ubuntu. You check it. You check it. What is my EC2 instance name? What is my EC2 instance name? That is not Ubuntu now, because I'm not creating Ubuntu machine. I'm creating Amazon Linux machine now. My operating system is different, guys. My operating system is different. Status checks, monitoring, no alarms are available for this. Tags, no, we have added one tags, name, AWS DevOps, actions, connect to this, connect to this. Now, this is how SSH protocol, you can use this PEM file and you can connect to this. CH mode, 400 AWS key pair, you can connect by using putty, connect using putty. So if you want to connect using putty, they are telling the options also, how you need to connect to the putty. They are giving all the details as well. Okay. Now this is a EC2 instance. The default username of the EC2 instance is EC2-user. What is the username, guys? EC2-user is the instance username, not Ubuntu. EC2-user. Now, am I able to connect to Amazon Linux to AMI? This is EC2 instance. When you use Ubuntu OS, then your username will be Ubuntu. When you use Amazon Linux, your username will be EC2-user. Okay. Can we check who am I? EC2 user. What is my present working directory? EC2 user. ls, no files are available. Touch demo.txt, file is created. ls-l, one file is available. Add some content to that file. Cat demo.txt. Hello, good evening. How are you doing? How are you doing? Control C. Ended. Then cat demo.txt, that file data is displaying. So whatever we have learned in the Linux commands, same commands you can apply here. Same commands you can apply here. So are we able to launch? Are we able to launch EC2 instance with Amazon Linux? Are you able to launch EC2 instance with Linux OS? Are you able to launch EC2 instance with Linux OS? All right. All right. Guys, can I give you one assignment? Can I give you one assignment for tomorrow? Can I give an assignment for tomorrow? Convert PEM file to PPK file. Connect to EC2 using putty. Connect to EC2 using putty. Okay. I want to give you one task now. I want to give you one task now. Assignment. Now you understood. Now you understood how to assignment for tomorrow. You understood how to launch one EC2 instance. Now assignment for tomorrow. Create EC2 instance. Create EC2 instance. Create EC2 instance and install Apache to server. Install web server. Anything. Create EC2 instance. Create EC2 instance. Okay. Task 1, guys. I will give 2 tasks now. Task 1. Create EC2 instance. Set up web server. Set up static website. Set up modify index.html file to display welcome to my website 1. Welcome to my website 1. Okay, you know that already. We have done this long back. Creating EC2 instance, create EC2 instance, set up web server, modify index.html file to display welcome to my website 1. When we access EC2 instance, when I access EC2 instance, it should display this message. This is the task 1. And the next one is task 2. Create EC2 instance, set up web server, modify index.html file to display welcome to my website 2. Yeah, this is my task. So basically what you need to do, how many instances you have to set up, guys? How many instances that you have to set up? Basically, how many instances you have to set up now? 2 instances. Basically, you have to do 2 instances setup. When I access first instance, it should give me the response as welcome to website 1. When I access second instance, it should give me the response as welcome to website 2. When I access first instance, it should give me the response as welcome to my website 1. When I access instance 2, I should get the response as welcome to my website 2. Can you guys do this task? Can you guys do this task before coming to tomorrow's session? Guys, here, create EC2 instance with Amazon Linux AMI, not with Ubuntu. Amazon Linux AMI. Amazon Linux AMI. Amazon Linux 2 AMI. This is the AMI. Not Ubuntu. Ubuntu already you know. Apt update, apt systemctl install. Already we installed Apache 2 in the Ubuntu. Now I want you to install web server in the Amazon Linux 2. Amazon Linux 2. So you have to research which command you need to use. Which command you need to use to install the web server in the Amazon Linux. You have to do the research and you have to complete that task before coming to tomorrow's session. If you have done this setup, if you do this setup in the as assignment, tomorrow I will teach you load balancing. Tomorrow I will tell you load balancing. You got it? You got my point, guys? So please complete this task before coming to tomorrow. Guys, remember, it is not Ubuntu, it is Amazon Linux. So commands will be different. You need to check it and you have to do it. Okay? Right. Once you have done this, then I will go in depth the details of this instance types. What is macro? What is micro? What is a small? What is medium? I will go to these types also. Right. Chalo guys, please complete this task before coming to tomorrow's session. So our tomorrow session depends upon this assignment only, guys. 2 things. Task 1, task 2. 2 instances you have to set up. And in the 2 instances, you have to install the server. You have to set up a static website. Right. Bye-bye. We'll see you in the tomorrow session, guys. Tata. I will upload yesterday's notes and today's notes, guys. Good night.